Okay, so another poem or two. I tried doing this last night, but I was a bit drunk, so I'll take a couple of aspirins. This is sort of continuing. Pardon me, just a moment. Continuing the theme of the birth of Venus. There was a couple of things I wanted to say about, that was it, in Platonic thinking. The gods, so the pagan gods, have kind of two aspects. There's the Titans, which are the nature gods, and then later there's a poet, Homer, and he sort of spiritualizes these themes that have been running through Hellenistic Greek thinking. So you get the pantheon of the Olympians, and they sort of go to war with the Titans a little bit. Things like centaurs and sirens, Scylla and Charybdis, things like that, monstrous things, kind of start to recede, and the spiritualization of these states of mind, really gods, is part of the Homeric idea. It's a big idea, really. There's a really good book called The Homeric Gods by Walter F. Otto. It goes into a lot of this, how that gods are really states of mind, eternals. So that being, if you think of being as being an eternal thing, a state of bliss, some type of nirvana, that's always there, that you can participate in. It's a oneness. So the beauty of understanding and knowledge, so something that draws things together to a oneness, is necessarily a beautiful thing. So this beautiful thing in the Homeric idea is Aphrodite, goddess of desire and beauty. So the first poem goes like this: is how my heart was broken by the birth of desire. You'll have to excuse the washing machine, it's Saturday, so everything has to get done the week coming up. This poem is called How My Heart Was Broken by the Birth of Desire. And it goes like this: daybreak, as insistent as the breeze, the sea fuming and incoherent, an ashtray brimful of debris. The north wind traces a serpent along the archer's spine and the brake's margin. A sheath is snagged in a sycamore tree, an early eldritch sign. Spring's initials on the rumps of sheep, ridiculed by sea crows, shameless as breast exposed, or a thicket of sparrows, or dulce, auburn in brackish repose. The morning sun sets, and alas, the goddess is begot. So basically, that's a sonnet. It's a 14-line sonnet, and it rhymes A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and then you've got a free line at the end, two free lines at the end, but it's sort of like sets, begot. So it goes breeze, debris, incoherent, serpent, margin, sign, tree, sheep, crows, sparrows, exposed, repose, sets, begot. So there's your 14th line, and in a sonnet, in the 12th line, it sort of gives way to a the denouement of the story, of the point that you're trying to make. It's the reveal at the end. So the morning sun sets, and alas, a goddess is begot. So it's the birth, but almost the conception of Aphrodite. So in this tradition, the serpent refers to the serpent Orpheus, because this is the Orphic tradition. So she doesn't have a mother or father. Orpheus fertilizes the ocean, or Tethys in a way. When the Olympians do go to war with the Titans, the old gods, nature spirits, gods, the sort of portrayal of Zeus to his father Kronos, where he unmans him with a sickle. Is it a sickle? Castrates him anyway. The drops of semen that fall to earth fertilize the ocean, and up pops Venus, the birth of desire. So there's a little bit of background to the genesis of a poem, you know, the creative part of playing with these ideas. So away from the Olympians, you've got the Titans. And one of the Titans that's not really mentioned, because he does get a seat at the table, a bit like Hermes, he gets his own seat at the table, is Pan. And I was thinking, isn't it funny how we call this thing that's going on a pandemic? So it's all. Pan is always outside the picture in classical art. He's a mountain goat. He doesn't live within the city. He's outside the walls of the city. He's an observer. He causes panic, but he also causes attraction. So there's traditions of his nymphs, Echo, Highness, and I forget the other third one. Anyway, I forget the other third one. It will come back to me. We might do it again. So great attraction and great repulsion. In both cases, panic attacks, basically panic or panish attacks. So this one's about Pan, which is an extreme form of attraction, desire, in a way. This one's called Pan Pursues the Moon, and the moon in this is Selene personified. And what Pan kind of does is, like, he becomes the hairy goatishness becomes soft wool-ish. It becomes like a sheep in order to gain that thing that he's pursuing, which is the nymph Selene, the nymph of the moon. So in order to capture something, you must become like that something, or in order to infiltrate something, you must become like that something. So anyway, this is called Pan Pursues the Moon. It goes like this. How I am become Pan, how often I am received in parenthesis. The radio mast above the downland, how it is become the altar's ego. Gentle plays the landfill gate, reclamation on the breeze, tells of the fox asleep at the foot of the slipway, or how the collie shares in the flock's fleece, the kestrel in the wheeling of the sun, and the moon in the patience of the sheep. Things are becoming like things in that story. The transformations are things becoming like things. So the parenthesis is the bracketing which is like if you were to draw a radio mass, you'd sort of bracket out the vibrations of the radio mast. You know, it's like a media thing. And it becomes the hill altar apostrophe S ego. So once we had sky gods and we had thunder gods and we had altars to these gods on the highest hills, now these are taken over by radio masts, and they sort of become the tribe's ego, the tribal ego, or society's ego in a way. And it kind of moves away from there. It goes, gentle plays the landfill gate, reclamation on the breeze, tells of the fox asleep at the foot of the slipway, or of how the collie shares in the flock's fleece, the kestrel in the wheeling of the sun, and the moon in the patience of the sheep. Okay, there's the two poems about two different types of pagan gods. One a spiritualized desire and one a very earthly sort of desire. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.